Good morning, students. So now we're gonna talk about the number of cells. Now we have introduced the cells. So we see the cell, the different aspects of cell. So number of cell present in the living organisms. Now if we want, or if we look at the number of cell in an organism can vary. So yes, it can vary from one to many organisms. Okay. So just imagine the number can go as far as possible also. So let's say it can go to up to the billion also. Billions is nothing, 10 to the power 3 millions. That amount of cells are present in that amount of cell are present. So the number is a huge. So if we say the number of cell in an organism, so it may be 1 or it can be anything up to the billion or trillion. Okay. So based on the number of cell, we classify the organism into two types. That is, one is unicellular. Uni means one, and second is multicellular, which has multiple cells. They are called multicellular organisms. Okay. So let us quickly see the unicellular and multicellular organism. So one cell constitutes the organism in unicellular. So the entire body is made up of only one cell, and that one cell will perform all the functions that the organism has to complete to survive. Okay. So this single cell perform the basic function that are characteristic of an organism. So that organism, in order to live, it needs to eat, it excrete also the waste products. So okay, so everything taking place in the cell is performed by only the one cell in the unicellular organism. Okay, it will do everything. So some of the example of a unicellular organism is amoeba. So amoeba is made up of only one cell. It is a microorganism. It is extremely small, which you cannot see through a naked eyes. Belongs to protozoa. So these, if you look at the amoeba, it has a shape which keeps on changing. So this entire amoeba is just one cell, and this one cell being performed the other functions also. Okay, so this one cell help the amoeba to move from one place to another. It will also help amoeba to eat food. It will also help amoeba to excrete out the waste products of. So everything will be taking place or taken care by this one cell only. Okay. So other example are Chlamydomonas, Paramecium. So in these organism, only one cell are present to perform all the function. Now we're going to talk about multicellular organism. So here in these kind of organism, many cells constitute the organism. So many cells are there. So in unicellular, there is only one cell perform all the functions for that organism. But here we have many cells. So these many can be millions or billions, whatever may be. So which cell is going to perform which function? All of them are going to perform all the functions. So how is it possible? So there is a division of labor in multicellular organism. Now what do you mean by labor? Division of labor. It's like the hard work or the easy work get divided. Okay. There is just one. So let us take an example. There is one student in your class, and the teacher says that the class has to organize the Teachers' Day on 5th of September. Okay. Now what will happen? There is only one student in the class, and he has to arrange everything, or she has to arrange everything. So all the responsibility is on that particular student. Okay. Now instead of one, if there are 50 students in the same class, then what happened? there are 50 students in the class. They are able to perform so many jobs. So the overall burden will not come to take care of that particular child. Okay, so 10 of them will take care of the culture program, 10 of them will take care of the decoration, 10 of them will take care of the sitting arrangement. So this is how the labor is divided. So it is called the division of labor. So in multicellular organism, the labor of an organism is divided into different. It is divided into different labor. Okay, division of labor is that's how the labor being divided between the multiple cells. So some organism will also have cells of various kinds. Let us suppose we take an example of an elephant. Elephant might have a million of cells. That doesn't mean that all the cells are identical to each other. It is also. Now the third is some of organisms have different types of have cells of various kinds. Okay, so they might be for different shapes. So if you look at the human beings, our body has trillions of cells. We have so many cells in our body and they are performing different functions. Like a group of cells perform a specific function. So if you look at some of the cells inside our body, like the blood cells, if you talk about the blood cells, they are red blood cells, white blood cells. So they look different than the muscle cells. Okay, they are different. Smooth, if you see, they are elongated. These are smooth cells. Blood cells are more or less spherical. The nerve cells are like so different. This how the nerve cells look like. Okay, so this is how the nerve cell look like. So if you see at the nerve cells, it's a branch structures. So they all cells are different from each other. So different cells look different from each other because of their different functions. Okay. So this is all about unicellular and multicellular organism. Okay. Now we'll discuss the shapes of the cell. Now if we look at the previous we look at the number of cell. Now we'll look the shapes of cell. The way we have the number ranges from 1 to trillion or billion. They have the different function to perform. So the shapes of cells vary because they have to perform the different function. Okay, as I told you, so there are many varieties of shapes which are found for different cells. So if you look at the shape of cells of WBC and RBC, so there are also mostly RBC are round or biconcave in shape, but the WBC are amoeboid in shape. So that means they do not have any exact shape. The shape of like amoeba, they have no fixed shape. So that's how the WBCs are. Okay. Then you have the nerve cells. The nerve cells neuron. The nerve cells is long cells. It is also branch. So you can see it is branches coming out of the nerve cell. That's how the shape of the nerve cell. Again, if you look at these are the cartilage and bone cells are like this. So here on this page you look a variety of cells. They are present inside the human body. Now you actually get to see the variety of shapes. Okay, the nerve cell, they have branch structure different, and the function is to conduct impulse from one part of the body to another. So that's why it has this kind of shape. Okay, so that's how depending upon the function the cell performs, the cell has a different shapes. So now let us try to look at some of the examples, which some of the example of the cell which keeps on changing their shape. So for example, amoeba is a unicellular organism. So it keeps changing its shape, and that is why it doesn't have a fixed shape. So here amoeba, this example, amoeba intakes food. Let us suppose this is a food material. Let us assume that it is a food material and this is the amoeba. Now amoeba wants to engulf the food particles. So it shows the steps, step 1, step 2. So step 1, food is outside. In step 2, the food is engulfed by the amoeba, and in step 3, the food is engulfed by the amoeba. So these food particles get trapped inside the amoeba, and that's how the food is taken in, and this shows that the amoeba is keep changing its shape. Okay, so if you look at this shape, this is different from this shape. Okay, so amoeba is nothing, it's just one cell. So it is called locomotion because amoeba want to move in this direction, so it extend itself in this way, and that's how it keep changing its shape, and it's also move in one direction. Okay, because they have no feet. Now we're going to talk about different cells in our human body. We'll quickly look out. Some cells might be spherical, some are elongated, and some are spindle shaped. Spindle, it's gonna be like this, tapered towards the ends. And spherical like this, elongated, and it is also branched. So these kind of cell in a human body, these kinds of shapes present in our human body. Okay, it's not only the shape but the size of cells also matter. Okay, so when we talk about cell size exists in a variety of shapes and as well as sizes. So size of a cell also can go from many small, from micrometer to a very large, which is centimeter. Okay, now if we talk about the size of the cell, so the smaller cell would be the cell of bacteria, which might be in the range of 0.3 microns would be the range of smallest bacteria. Now if we talk about the large cell, the largest cell is the ostrich egg, and it is somewhere around, so you can imagine the size of a cell of the ostrich. It is in meters. It goes up to that range, 170 mm into 130 mm. So this is the dimension of ostrich egg. So it starts from micron and it goes to millimeter or centimeter. Okay, now it doesn't matter how big the animal is, but the size of the cell might be small, might be big. It doesn't happen with the size of the animal. Okay, the smallest cell is that of bacteria, and the largest cell is of ostrich, egg of an ostrich, which is about dimension 170 to 130 mm. So it is not necessary that bacteria is smaller, then therefore the cell of the bacteria is also smaller, and the ostrich is big, therefore it's all about, like, you should not think that the elephant is bigger, that means that their cell also bigger. Okay, it's not like that. So it is independent of the size of the plant or the animal. So now that we have discussed this shape, size and the number of cells, let us quickly discuss the function of cells. Let us now look at the function of cells. What are the important function of the cells perform? You might be thinking that we are talking about the billions or trillions of cells. Now why you have why are they so important? So let us see the first function of the cell. They are the structural unit of the living organism. Now we see the structural unit, you need to say that they perform the entire structure of the human organism. Okay, the way bricks form the entire structure of the building, in the similar way the cell form the entire structure of a organism. Now it can be human being, it can be elephant, it can be deer, it can be a plant, it can be a fish, it can be a bird, it can be anything. Okay, they have different structure and their structure are basically formed by the cells. Now how exactly they form their structure, we will see it. Now there are various level of organization. Now the basic level or organization of the cell is there is a multiple cell which are present inside our. Right now I'm taking the example of human being because that could be easier for you to understand. So our body is made up of cells. Are you able to see this cell present in your body? Because you are not able to see them because they are microscopic. They can be seen under the microscope. Only we can see that we can see our eyes, our legs, our hairs. Okay, these are different part of our body, or we can say these are the different organ of our body. So these are cells. They are now the group of the cells combined to form a. As I told you, there is a division of unicellular and multicellular organism. So one group of cell perform a very specific function in unicellular organism. Okay, but now in multicellular, each group of cell is perform different function. So one tissue performing a particular function, another tissue is performing another function. So let us take an example. There are many the groups of cells is called tissue, but all of them are not performing the same function. So when they are decided to they come together, they perform a function, and that's how they are cells. They join together. Cells join together to form a tissue. Okay, so all the cells which are present, they all perform the same function. Okay, and now these tissue when joined together, they form the organ. Same tissue joined together to form an organs. And what are the organs? The organs which are present inside our body. Many different organs come together to perform a system. So for example, lung is an organ which perform respiration. Now in respiratory system, there are trachea is there lungs, the nose. Okay, so these all form a respiratory system. So many different organs together form a respiratory system. So that is included in organ system. So the organ system together form the human being. So respiratory system is not only the only system which is present inside the human being. There is excretory system, digestive system. Now what we can see that a human being, can we see that human being is made up of cell, then cell group together to form tissue group together to form organ group together to form organ system group together to form a human being. And we can see the different organ of our body, but what we cannot see is cell and the tissue. So here you can see the cell are the base. So when the cell is being not there, then there could not have been any tissue, there could not be any organ system, and no human being. So entire structure raised from the cell. So that is why we say that the cell is a structural unit of all living organism. Now, what are the various functions an organism perform, and what are the functions? Because we say that the cell is the functional unit. Take the example of human being. What we do, we eat, we breathe, we do some sort of work. So these are the example of certain activities or function that we do. Okay, now what happen when we eat food? So when we eat food, the food enters inside our body. Where exactly it is go? It goes to the digestive system. So we intake of food through our mouth, and it goes to through the food pipe and finally to the stomach, and basically it enter in our digestive system. Now what happens to this food in our digestive system? The food has to be digested because that energy is coming out from that food. The food has to be broken down into a simplest form, and the glucose need to be absorbed, and that glucose absorbed by the body. So when it goes to the digestive system, it actually reaches the various organ of our digestive system, like stomach, intestine. So they all are a part of a digestive system. Okay, these are the organs. Now these organs, they are organs, and organs are made up of tissue, and the tissues are made up of cells. So basically the process of digestion happen because of only cell. Okay, so each cell is doing these function. So it is something like this. We suppose that there is a class of a 50 student. So we say that the class 8 is saying prayer right now. And what does that mean? That all the students of class 8 are present. They are saying the prayer right now. Okay, that means each of the 50 students is saying the prayer. So in a very similar way, each of the cell is actually performing the process of digestion, and that is why the entire digestive system is act like that. So we say that the cell is the functional unit. So in respiratory system also, your lungs involved, your nostrils involved, your nose involved. So all these functions are basically performed by the cells. Okay. So end of the day, all the activities which are performed by our body, that activity is performed due to the action of the cell. So each and every cell has to do the entire function, and that is why the cell is called the functional unit. So now we understood why the cell is called a functional unit and how the function has been performed by the cells. Now you might be appreciating that, wow, so cells are so important. So without cells we can't exist, because there will be no structure, there will be no functions. So now we might be interested, you might be interested of how the cell made up of, what is there inside the cell that helps to perform such activities. Okay, so that is what we are going to study in this now, how the exactly the internal structure of the cell, what is the cell and how it is made up of. So these cell organelles, we are going to discuss a little bit about this, and the more you can learn in your higher classes. So a cell is able to live and perform all its function because of these organelles only. Okay, and all cells have the same organelles irrespective of the function and the organism they are found in. So every cell have the same organelles. But a cell which is present inside the cell in the plant and the cell which is present in the animals, they are slightly different from each other. Okay, but all plant cell have the same cell organelles, and all animal cell will have the same cell organelles. Okay, what are the different organelles present inside the cell? Cell is like a sphere, and if I cut the sphere, what you are going to see inside the cell? Nucleolus, nucleus, it is somewhere around the center of the cell. Ribosomes, vesicles, rough endoplasmic reticulum, and similarly the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Golgi apparatus. Golgi apparatus. Cytoskeleton. Mitochondria. This is called the powerhouse of the cell. Vacuole. Cytosol. Lysosome. These are called the societal bag of the cell. Centrosomes or centrosome. Centrosome within the centrosome. Okay. And the cells divide to form more cells. The process of forming of a new cell from the cell which are originally existed. Okay. So they have important role to play in the cell division, centrosome. And the last one is the cell membrane, the outermost covering of the cell, which keep the cell separated from the outside. That is the boundary of the cell. Okay. So these are basically the different parts of the cell. Now we are going to discuss about this. We are not going to discuss about all the organelles because this is not in your course. You will be studying about these in higher classes, but we will try to look some of the try to observe the structure of a cell, your cells. Okay. For this, all you need is a thin slice of onion peel. And when we observe the thin slice of onion peel with a microscope, so what we look, so when you observe the onion under microscope, so what do you see here? Here you see a compartments which is bounded by the boundaries. Okay, so these boundaries are nothing but the cell membrane. Cell membrane is also called plasma membrane. Cell membrane is nothing but the boundary of the cell, in simple words. So this is the cell membrane, and this one is the one cell. So you can consider it like this. This is another cell, and so on. That's how the different cell will be present here. This boundary of the cell is called cell membrane, and inside the cell membrane there is a fluid which is called cytoplasm. Plasma, which means something is fluid. Cyto means cell, and plasma which means fluid. So fluid present inside the cell. So the entire empty space inside the cell is filled with cytoplasm. Now you might ask, where are the other cell organelles present? So they are all embedded into the cytoplasm inside the cell. And another prominent that you are be able to observe the structure of the center of the cell, and this some structure in between, that is your nucleus. So these are more or less structure which you might be able to see under the microscope. So first one is cell membrane, which is one of the most important part because it decides the shape of the cell. It gives boundary to the cell. It separates cell from all other parts. Okay. Cell wall. So it is an additional boundary present outside the cell membrane, but it is only found in the plant cell. So only animal cell have only one boundary, that is cell membrane, but the plant cell, they have two boundary, that is cell wall and cell membrane and cell wall. Okay. So it is present only in this plant cell. So inside you have one prominent thing that is called nucleus. So in this case, then you have the cytosol. The liquid is called cytosol, and the liquid with organelles is called cytoplasm. Okay. So these are the various cell organisms: cell membrane, ribosome, cytosol, is a liquid. If we consider liquid plus organelle, then we called it a cytoplasm, nucleus, and cell wall, vacuole, and chromosome. So chromosome present inside the nucleus, and this is called vacuole. And you have to remember one more thing, that if we talk about the plant cell, there is a chloroplast, because chloroplast present only in the plant cell, and because of this photosynthesis will happen, and the plant cell contain plant cell wall, which do not present in the animal cell. Okay, so in animal cell there is only one boundary. In plant cell there is two boundaries, cell membrane and cell wall. Here also in animal cell you have nucleus, the plant cell also have a nucleus. The animal cell have cytoplasm, the plant cell also. So most of them are common to animal and plant cell. Most of them are common. Everything is common except the few things. Okay, so you have to remember these things which are not common in both the plant and animal cells. So this is the basic structure of the cell. And if we talk about plant cell, so these two are also included in that, and if you talk about the animal cell, these are not there. Okay, so we'll discuss about some cell membrane, plasma membrane, everything in our next video, in my next video. Okay, thank you class.